Hi, thrifty friends. It's Laura. I got asked by Leandra at the Heartland Thrifter to do it's called Inside the Mind of a Thrifter tag. I am so honored. Thank you very much, Leandra. I love your channel is the best, and I can't even come close to doing this video the way you did yours with your wonderful husband who's your cameraman. My cameraman is still the shelf and the jar of jam. So I hope I can be just a fraction entertaining as you were. So question number one is, what made you start thrifting? So I will show you who made me start thrifting. That's my mom. That was taken in the late 80s at my sister's wedding, and she was a product of the Second World War. She was a little girl during the Second World War, and it was make, do, and mend in those days. You didn't go out and get new stuff. People just didn't have the money, and the stuff wasn't there. There was rationing on everything. Clothing, fabric, as well as food. So God, I remember she hated margarine because that's all they could get in the war years. She would never have margarine in the house. Anyway, so I went thrifting. I went to rummage sales with her. I went thrifting with her. I remember buying clothes, a big dress or something, and then unpicking it and reusing the fabric. And so that's where that whole mindset came from for me. Was make, do, and mend. So why do I still do it now? It's just a part of me now. It's just the thing that I do, and I do it now because I do have a booth, and that helps me with a little bit of income because I am a senior on a pension, so everybody knows what that's about. So, top three stores. I don't go to the big stores anymore. I've just found they're just too expensive. I sort of budget about $20, maybe $30 every week. And I mean, you can buy two items at Value Village, or even the Salvation Army now is getting pretty bad. So I shouldn't say bad, their prices are getting higher. So I shop at the little shops around here where I live. There's a couple of very small little shops that support some stuff at the hospital, or the Interval House, that sort of thing. And so those are my favorites. I won't name names. The feeling you get when you find a treasure. For me, a treasure is something that brings a flood of memories. Because our family traveled all over the world, we just didn't hang on to stuff. It wasn't feasible. When you were moving from India to Scotland to Canada, and then back to Wales, and then back to Canada, it just wasn't feasible to hang on to things. So when I see something that we used to have, or brings back a memory, that's just a wonderful feeling for me. And it's nice to find things that I know I'm going to make a little bit of money on when I go to the booth. But I still only buy what I like. I wouldn't go buying something that I really thought was butt ugly because, well, I did in my last haul, didn't I? That piece of jewelry, I don't know. Sometimes the brain just leaves me. Anyways, let's see. Do you care about pieces being dirty? Not at all. I don't care about, I'm good at cleaning stuff. I was a cleaning lady for years. I have waded into some pretty disgusting situations, and it doesn't bother me. I get it clean, or if I can't, then I salvage it or cut it up or whatever. So clean doesn't bother me. Damage to a certain extent doesn't bother me. And what I accept, which I think a lot of people don't, is wear. I think in one of my hauls I showed a Fire King pie plate that was used to death. And I loved it all the more for that because it had stories to tell. So obviously if something's too damaged and I can't resell it, then I have to pass it up. or if it's a little bit damaged and I'm intending to keep it, then that's okay too. So, do I remove prices? Yes, I do. I'm quite anal about that. I get them off as soon as I get home. I clean everything and get the prices off, and because I'd hate to throw something into my booth and there be a price from a little thrift store on my item as well as my own. So yeah, I take the prices off right away. I like to get them off. What do you do with all your stuff? Well, like I said before, I display it, I use it. Some things I will keep forever. Other things, then after I've enjoyed them for a while and I'm starting to get a bit cluttered, they go off to my booth and be sold. And that buys me some groceries and some gas. So, shop, tell us about it. Okay, my booth is in a little flea market in Perth, which is very much a tourist town. And I started my booth, I think I started about 4 or 5 years ago. And the reason I did, I'll try to make this as short as possible. I worked for the Salvation Army, and we used to make bags of rags out of t-shirts that were uncut, and then a more expensive bag out of t-shirts that were cut. And we had a good bunch of customers for those rags. Well, the Salvation Army stores, not all of them are run by the churches anymore. Most of them are run by a sort of overseer kind of company. But ours is run by the church, and the churches turn over their majors every 4 years. So we had new majors, and the new major decided she wanted our store to sort of go up a step, and she didn't want to do the rags anymore. And I'd be at cash, and I'd have these mechanics coming in looking for rags, and we didn't have them. I swear, some of these guys were like, where am I going to get rags? Oh my gosh. So I, being the entrepreneur that I am, made a deal with some other thrift stores to purchase their salvage. And the salvage is the stuff that the store can't sell. And used that stuff to cut rags and sell rags. But in the process, I was picking out nicer pieces of clothing that I didn't want to cut for rags. So I was saving them and having yard sales, and the yard sales were popular, so then I got a booth. And so my booth for a long time was just clothes, and then I love to pick, like my vintage kitchen stuff is one of my favorite things. So I thought, I'm going to expand it a little bit and have some fun with it too. So that's basically what my booth is. And it's in the best little marketplace in Perth. It's called Jameson's Market, and it's managed by just an amazing girl. I love her to pieces. So I'm really having fun with it too. Okay, what do you sell, where, and why? I guess I answered that one already. What's my first stop in the store? My first stop in the store is always to say hi to the gals. The gals who are volunteering or working. Most of the little stores I go to, they're volunteers. And I remember when I worked at the Salvation Army, how nice it was when the customers would acknowledge us. They would often thank us for our work that we did, because the Sally is strictly a charity, unlike the Value Village and the Goodwill type of places. So that meant a lot to me, and we developed relationships with customers, and favorite customers we would treat well. We had one lady that she loved anything with a butterfly on it. So whenever something with a butterfly on it came in, we would hang on to it until that lady came in and would say, hey, you want to see this? We saved it for you. And I think it's important to have a nice relationship with the people. So that's my first stop. My second stop in the store is probably the purses, because I'm an admitted purseaholic. So where's my rest of my questions? I think I'm going to fit them in 15 minutes. Yeah, second stop. How long do you spend in a store? Well, I don't spend a long time, because I often have Miss Haley with me, so I know that I've just got that window of, you know, where we're awake and we're not hungry and we don't have a dirty diaper and we're not cranky. So, and plus they're all smaller stores. So I try to go sort of do a round and then kind of do a come back the other way kind of thing. So really not that long. If I do go to a bigger store, it is at a time when I'm on my own and I may spend an hour or a little bit more, but that's not very frequently. What is my thrifting style? As you can tell, I have no style. I don't know. Just to have fun, I guess. Just to have fun. Yeah, that's my style. And do I watch other thrifting YouTubers? And I made a list here, and I would have to take another 20 minutes to say everyone on this list. So I am just going to say I watch a lot of them. I enjoy them. I enjoy the little crafty things that they do. And what I do when I'm watching a video and I look down through the comments, then I'll click on the little thumbnail of the commenter to see if any of those people have videos, and I might go off, you know, finish watching that one and then go to this one and see someone new. So because I'm just I'm not trying to build my channel. This isn't for making money. This for me is just friends, having some friends on YouTube. Because I've moved to a new area, I don't know anybody up here. I don't know many people up here, and I'm at home all day with two little children who are not verbal. So I need to do some talking at the end of the day. I need to think like an adult at the end of the day. And so that's the reason why I watch the thrifting videos and sort of feel like some of these people are my cyber friends. And I like to support some of the smaller channels when I see that someone's just getting started or whatever. I like to, you know, put a comment and a little bit of something positive and just, you know, just interact with people. So I think that is, I've done it. And only 12 and a half. So I hope that wasn't too ridiculously boring. And I'm really looking forward to Thriftmas in July with Nesting Haven. She's got a thing out that she's going to have everybody do their Christmas ones. And I have a friend who has a Christmas shop, and she closed it down a few years ago, and she called me and she said, come over and I'll fill your car. So I came home yesterday with a full car. And then on Saturday, I didn't intend to go thrifting, but we stopped into one store, and it is a little for-profit store. And the people, some people came in and they said, we have a truckload of donations. And they said, we just can't take them. We've completely run out of room. So I happened to be parked beside them, and I went over to them and I spoke to them, and I told them about my sister, and I said, can I take what you've got, however much I can fit in my car, and what my sister can't use, then I have a little booth that I would sell the rest in. And they were more than happy to pass everything on to me. So on a weekend when I wasn't going to do any thrifting, I came home with 2 carloads, and neither one of them cost me anything more than my gas. So I'm going to say, may not be popular with everybody, but God is good. Take care for now. Bye-bye.